Hello, Clive here, and welcome back to Ark Survival Ascended. So in between episodes, we did finish this storage area. So this is the storage layout. What I tend to do is either put signs on these things to kind of give me an idea of like what's in these, because it's really hard to figure out what's going to be in each one of these, or I'll just paint them. So there's a lot of colors we can use to paint these things now. So we just paint them different colors and then have a general understanding of what we need. And we just did like a couple of wooden staircases on either side. It works out pretty well. And this is the bookshelf. So we have all of our blueprints that we've gotten so far in here. These things, they hold 100 blueprints, whereas the storage boxes only hold 45. So it's definitely worth making these just for the blueprints. And I did find a bed in one of the drops, so we do have like at least a spawn point in here. Also still have a bed in the other building still. I didn't do much in moving. I kind of want to get some signs built first before I start moving stuff over, so I have a better idea of what's going to be in each box. I mean, I have a little bit of stuff moved over, but not a whole lot. Mostly just the cryopods. So I also did get a really good Ascended crossbow, which is actually pretty crazy. I'll just show you that drop. It was actually a really good drop. I believe it was a blue drop with a ring. Oh, Ascended crossbow, 243.8. That's really good. They're not blueprints, but you know what? That actually works. That was a blue one, and the blue ones give you the crossbows and the pikes. I think the pickaxes as well. All the metal tools. And also did get a ramshackle pike out of that one as well. And this will definitely help in taming. I don't have to spend a lot of time and a lot of arrows shooting things now. Should be pretty quick to tame things up. So what we want to do is first I want to go ahead and find an Oviraptor like this. So I think this one's too high. I'm gonna find probably like a level maybe 15 or maybe 20 or less. So with an Oviraptor, you don't really need a high level one. I was able to get 2 eggs from the Therizinosaur. So we have at least 2 eggs now. I still haven't moved this stuff over. I know I need to do that. We can feed this to an Oviraptor. That should be pretty quick to tame it up. They don't take much other than just knocking it out and then giving it some eggs. The bigger the eggs, the better. These are like just large eggs, or they're considered large eggs. Whereas things like the RGs are like medium eggs, and then there's smaller eggs from smaller dinos. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to find an Oviraptor just to have something over here and have it getting eggs while we're doing other things. Alright, I'm back. Over here I did see one, and it is level 20, so this should be pretty simple to knock out. I did look up the requirements for this, and it is just a couple of eggs. It says 2 eggs is what I would need to get a 20, so that should be doable. These beavers have been going crazy with the different beaver dams. There's like one here, there's a couple more over here, like on the beach. So yeah, I'll take care of these beaver dams as well, and then we'll have some resources from that. I don't know if you know, but if you do get a beaver dam, the beavers do aggro you. You do get quite a few resources from it. So for instance, if we look at this, look at all this different resources that we can grab from these. We don't really need the different wood and stuff. Another Oviraptor. That's the noise they make whenever they're scared. I'm not seeing any beavers, so that's interesting. What is this guy? This is what's it at? It's way over there. That's level 5 or 15. Okay, yeah. So either one of these Oviraptors will be good. I'm just gonna clean up these beaver dams, and then I'll come back when I got this guy knocked out. I need to get some stuff for it. Alright, got the Oviraptor. I forgot I took a trap down, so I might have to just put this thing in the base, which is unfortunate, and then try to knock it out this way. I think it shouldn't be able to run out of here. It shouldn't be able to clear this wall right here. Let me go and close this door, and then I'll be able to get it knocked out. Okay, so let's see what it takes to knock this thing out. I'm a little concerned that I might actually kill it with this crossbow, but we'll see. There's another one out there running around. Okay, yeah, one shot. That's all it took with this thing. That's a lot of damage though. 85 damage. So a little bit of wiggle room. We probably could have shot it twice and been fine. So really, once you get it down, there's not much else. Just throw the eggs in there. It should tame up pretty quick, even on like official server rates. So let's get it tamed up, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. All right, this thing's all tamed up. This took one egg actually, so that wasn't bad. I think these might be bigger than what I thought. Tremendous, yeah, exceptional nutritional value. So yeah, these would be a little bit higher. It is still banged up, maybe? No, yeah, it's got a little bit of health missing, which is fine. And once you tame these things up, they do eat meat. You don't have to worry about actually feeding it eggs the entire time. I'm just gonna get it out here, put it outside. All right, so there are two benefits to the Oviraptor. The first one is we can turn on egg collection, so we can have it collect eggs for us. Just based on the size of the Oviraptor, some of the eggs do weigh quite a bit, so we have to keep checking this thing pretty frequently. I think by default they do have a pretty good amount of weight on them, and we definitely want to keep bumping up the weight. It's about the only stat that you would need so we can collect eggs. So if you go to the menu, you can see that there's egg collection, and you can collect just fertilized eggs, unfertilized eggs, or even both. So it is possible to collect both. That's one benefit. So it'll go around and collect the eggs. The next benefit is going to be if we are to change the behavior of this thing, we want to first have it ignore group whistles. That's the first thing. Next thing we want to do is to change its stance to passive. And then finally, we want to have it on wander. Whenever it goes on wander, it does a buff. So you can see now that egg buff flashing like this. That means that everything within range of the Oviraptor is going to be getting a bonus to producing eggs. It's on every creature, but these guys can't produce eggs, so it's not going to be much of a benefit to them. But it is on the egg layers too. Buff range is pretty decent too, so it's going to affect everyone within range, specifically the females. So now there's a higher chance of an egg being laid by this Therizinosaur. And every other female that we get will also have the same benefits. It's probably better just to stick this thing into a little cage with a bunch of females, and then it can run around and pick up the eggs. Otherwise it's going to be wandering off. So we do want to keep it free and roaming and have its weight slot opened up, only because we want to be able to have it pick up the eggs for us as well. It's going to save us a lot of time if we don't have to keep checking these things for eggs. So we have to do a couple of things, make a little cage for it, and then put a couple of females in there so that they can lay the eggs, and just kind of switch them out if we need specific types of eggs. Once we get a Uteranus, then we'll just have like specific egg-laying Uteranuses that only just produced eggs, and we'll have some Oviraptors in there just grabbing the eggs for it. So that's the end goal, but at the very least, I'll get a little cage for this thing and for this one Theri that we have, and then they'll be able to get some eggs going, and then we'll have a little egg production. So that's pretty much the main benefits of the Oviraptor, and they're definitely easy to grab early on as long as you have some kind of egg production going, or just even a couple of females that you can grab eggs from when you need them. Alright, so I did get everything moved over, and I kind of just wanted to show off this system of storage. It is dark in here for right now, so I have to go and light it up. I'll have to get some actual lighting in here, which I will do once we get some electricity, which hopefully that'll be pretty soon. So this is how I stack the storage. There is 2 layers here. The top layer is mostly for like raw resources. I can fly the RG up onto this platform, and we can just throw it into these boxes here. And these things are hard to read, but you can just hover over these boxes Let me find one that I actually did. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, if you hover the boxes, it says advanced mats, and it tells you like how many is used. So 27 out of 45. So advanced mats would be stuff like this, just things that you can craft, and then just things that you get later on. A lot of these things I've gotten from drops. But that would be the advanced mats, and you can say this one has 19 out of 45. This is just metal and stuff like that. Things you can farm up from mining. Yeah, and there's labels. So I usually do 2 of these boxes. So it's 90 storage for one particular category. Like this one is for skins, so it's like hide and chitin, like that. And then this is like the narcotics and the stimulants, and so on and so forth. We do have the preserving bins up here, and these will be replaced with the refrigerators once we do unlock those and we have some power in here. Alright, I'm back. I went and got some metal, and now we are going to smelt this up. The reason why I want to get the metal and all the stuff that we got is because I want to start getting into some technology. So let's just check out the tech tree. And where we are at levels, I think we're at level 80. We're 82. So we have access to a lot of things now. We have the chemistry bench we can get. Let's look at the materials for that. Not too bad. It does require 250 electronics. We also have access to the forge. These 2 things require a fabricator. So let's unlock this. It's going to probably ask me to unlock the fabricator as well. Let's unlock this. And let's keep going up. Let's get the vault. The vault is really expensive. It requires 500 metal and then a bunch of polymer. And then keep going up a little more. Industrial grinder is really good. It's a lot of crystal and a lot of metal. It's a very large amount of materials for this thing. It is maybe worth it. We'll see. If we have a lot of saddles we want to burn that we get from drops, it is worth it. It's really good in other maps like Extinction, when you get those orbital drops, when you get like hundreds of things from those orbital drops. We do need an air conditioner, and we need the fridge. Let's see, I think that's pretty much it. Then we just need the fabricator. So we can do the industrial grill. It's going to be handy. This cooks up a lot of meat. This is really good for getting a lot of cooked prime meat. Let's see. We already have a power generator, but we can learn this one. It's not very expensive. We'll just grab it, just in case. We do have some points left. And then we need polymer and electronics. We have a fabricator. So those are like the main things that we need from this. We can get into some of the other things, like the greenhouse, stuff like that. We'll get into that pretty soon. I'll learn that later. But I think we got everything that we needed for this. Those are the main machines. We don't have the resources to make all the things that we just unlocked, but we are able to at least make some of the big ones. We definitely need a fabricator first, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to work on that, and this will help us with getting into crafting all the technology pieces, and then we can start working on some things. I think one of the biggest ones is probably the industrial forge. And then also the chemistry bench. Those are the 2 really, really good ones that you're going to be using a ton. So the fabricator itself just requires not much at all. Like it's printing paste, ingots, spark powder, crystal, and oil. We have all those things. I should probably make a smithy. I've been using the RG to make stuff. I could probably just make a smithy real quick. So we're going to do a fabricator and a smithy, and then we'll get into a few other things. We also need to throw down some water. So let's go run the water real quick. So let's go into buildings, building materials. Very bright. Let's grab this. We'll do that later. Let's grab this metal water intake. And we also need a water tank. These things, we already have these 2 from just grabbing drops. So they're not that hard to come by from drops, especially the higher level drops. And then we can just go ahead and run this water line. So I'm still going to put the farm over here, probably like right over here on this spot. So we will need to run the water in between these two places. And it's actually pretty easy to run it from here. We just need to throw down the intake somewhere, wherever it's going to land. Let's see, like right here. Let's probably get like really close. And if you look up, you can see like where the range this intake has. It's this blue bubble around us. It's very hard to look at night. Like right here is good. Alright, it doesn't matter where you put it at, as long as it's down somewhere. We can look at the... Let's look at the range. This is the range of it. We'll just go up and see the range of this thing. So it doesn't reach all the way to our base. So we have to extend it with some water tanks. That's where these things come in place. So we need to put the water tank, which you see it's a massive range compared to that one. We need to put it, I think, within the bubble. I don't believe it'll get automatically connect if it's outside the bubble. So we have to put it somewhere on a ledge, like right here. Now we can go shut off this range, and we'll look at that range. There we go. So this will probably reach a decent range. So if we go back to our base, up top, we can see how high it reaches. It doesn't quite reach to the top. So we'll need to make another one, and this next one should reach a huge area. Like the area is pretty big. You just kind of come out here. We can kind of see how big of a range it is. So we'll put one probably more on this ledge over here, and then extend it up to the top. So we need to make one more, and then we should be good to go after that. That's the water section, so we'll do a little more work on that, and then I'm going to go ahead and start crafting some of these other things like the Fabricator, and we'll come back and talk about that once we're done. Alright, we're back. I did finish making the Fabricator. Let's go ahead and throw that down. I have no idea where the generator I made, or I got was, so I have to make a new one. But let's just take a look at this. So we do have the ability to craft the generator, and it's not too bad. It's just electronics and ingots. We do have that stuff. But before we can actually do that, we need to have a power source for the Fabricator. And if we look at this, it says it requires gasoline or power to be activated. So we need to either have a generator already made, or we have to find one, or we need gasoline. So this is some gasoline that we got from another drop. But if you don't have a gasoline, you can always craft this inside of these refining forges. And all it is this oil and hide. So this is like a hidden recipe. And this will actually make gasoline over time. I think it's like 5 per. So it might take a second here. Alright, there we go. We got some gasoline. And you just leave it in here and just let it run. So we have to go farm some oil up, and hide's pretty easy to get. But we do need some gasoline for this. And once you get the gasoline, then that little indicator goes away. It tells you how much fuel you have. But it's not on yet, so we have to turn it on. Once we turn it on, it does start using gasoline. So you don't want to keep it on all the time. You actually just want to use it one. So I would just, if I was you, I would just put one in there. It lasts for a while. So it lasts 30 minutes from one of these gasoline cans, which is more than enough time. The first thing I would craft is going to be the generator, and then you won't have to use any more gasoline inside of the Fabricator. So once again, we need electronics and ingots. If you don't have electronics, you have to craft that in here. So electronics requires silica pearls and metal ingots. Silica pearls, if you don't have silica pearls yet, like if you haven't gotten them from drops, if we look at our map, silica pearls are all over the bottom of the ocean here. But instead of going all the way down there, you can still get it from this area, like around this island right here. So you have to go in the water. It's going to be cold. It's going to be freezing cold. There's a lot of dangerous dinos here. We've already been here several times. But in the water around this little island area, you're going to find a lot of silica pearls. Alright, I am here at the place where you could find the silica pearls. What we want to do is we want to go look for these pearls. I did go through here earlier. I was hoping things would be respawned by now, but they're not. Because I didn't see too many. But here's one. This right here, it looks like a clamshell. You just grab it and you can get some pearls from it. Depending on your stats, like your server rates, you'll get different amounts. But it's these right here. It's just these little small flat rocks. Not the round ones like this, but the small flat ones. And they're kind of like, you know, kind of scattered around through here. There's a bunch more over in the shallower water. You just need to be very, very careful because of this area is pretty tough, especially if stuff starts spawning over here. Like there might be like a pack of aloes that would definitely kill you. And whatever dino you're on. So you're going to be very careful with that. And I would say you don't need to go too deep for this. You can stay in the shallower waters. But I think there might be a few spawns over here. But you're going to be dealing with megalodons and stuff. So you don't really want to do that. We'll stick to the shallow waters. And it's all, unfortunately, in the water. I don't think there's anything on land. It's not that I've seen. Yeah. But you can go through here. And all the way through here, there'll be some. I think this is one right here. Yeah, it's one right there. Some right here. Yeah, I think they're respawning now. Right there. So yeah, if you need some pearls, this is where you go. You're on a popular server. I'm sure this place is always farmed. So you may have to go underwater, which there's a ton of places. All along this coast in the deep water, there's like a lot of spots you can go. That's this place you want to go for the pearls if you need some more electronics. Depending on the rates, if you go around the island once, it should give you enough to be in crafting a lot of things. If you were fortunate enough to get some electronics already, then I would say use those to definitely craft this first item. So grab all the electronics, and I'm going to grab just some metal. And throw it in here. And then we can keep our one gasoline can, turn it on, and we want to start by crafting this. Alright, once you have a generator, if we put it down, you can put it on anywhere just to see. There is a range on this thing. So if we look at this, you can see the range. It's this yellow bubble. The range is semi-small. It's not that big. As you can see, it like barely covers this actual base. So we would need to put one probably somewhere close by. I might actually just put it underneath the floor here. So we'll do that. We'll just go down here and stick it in the floor. And then it should cover the rest of the base. It can be anywhere down here. It doesn't really matter. You can also turn on snapping and it'll snap to like these grids. And let's make sure that we are covering everything. Let's see, how far out are we? We'll probably go a little further. Let's go a little further that way towards the rest of the base. The only thing we need power for outside of like the machines that we're building is going to be for a air conditioning area, and that's going to be for raising eggs. So we kind of want to get it close to that, where we're raising eggs. We can also make another generator too, and put it there. So I won't worry too much about it. As long as you're covering all of your machines from one generator, it should be fine. And then we'll have like a separate house for raising eggs, and it'll probably be more away from the base, so like more towards the shed back there. And this fabricator is definitely loud, so we'll have to turn it off here. And if you're not using it, I would recommend turning it off. If you do turn it off and turn it back on, it's going to use up a fuel. So if you have fuel in here, definitely want to be careful with that. but if you have it running off of the generator, then it doesn't really matter. You can turn it off and on however many times you want. As far as the generator goes, we have 21 hours of fuel here. It's about an hour per gasoline can. So you can see we could definitely have enough time to get some more gasoline, and it's probably, we actually probably already have enough gasoline for a couple of days based on what's over here. Yeah, so we got 35 here. That's another 35 hours. And yeah, so 75 hours extra on top of what we already have. And now we can use this, turn it off and on as many times as we want, and it should be fine. We're not going to be burning any more gasoline. The generator powers all the machines, and it doesn't really have a load, so whatever you put in here is the exact time that's going to give you. So if we put in all this gasoline, so it's going to be 3 days and 23 hours of fuel, and no matter how many machines we have running off this thing, it'll be the same amount of fuel being burned. So there's no like limit or like extra draw from the machines. So you can literally run everything off this one. And it does power a lot of things. So we'll be able to repower not only the Fabricator, but we'll be able to power the other machines that we make. That's why we want to get this up first, because we're going to probably make these 3 machines, not today, because this is going to take a very long time to get, but I would definitely want to get this machine going. It does require 2,500 metal, which is a lot of metal to get. It's going to require a lot of farming. We can definitely make the chemistry bench, which is a huge benefit to us, because it will give us extra resources like spark powder, and it also give us extra narcotics as we craft. But let me first do these metal runs, and then we'll start working on a few more pieces of technology, and then we can start working on the taming stuff. Alright, we are here in the Redwoods, so the mountain of the Redwoods. I just wanted to go over a couple of things about in regards to metal runs. So I like to take my Pteranodon and get there quicker, and after that we just bottle it up. So we get an RG and we get an Anki, and we can pick up the Anki and we can go around and break rocks that are metal nodes. We just run around and find them, which in the Redwoods, most of them are like down below, like they're lower. Like down here some. These guys will automatically break the rocks that have metal in them. Though there is sometimes weird issues with not recognizing the rocks. There we go. They will do that, but they won't break the crystal rocks. So they don't automatically break these. So if we ever do run across, or if you ever need crystal and you have an Anki, you can always go and just ride it. And you can get crystal, you can get things like obsidian. There should be crystal up here. Yeah, crystal right there. There's also some metal up here as well. So we can get off and we just ride the Anki, and then we can just break these rocks. It'll also break other rocks. You have to ride it to do that. So it will automatically break the normal rocks, but things like crystal and obsidian you have to break with the Anki while riding it. And if you're going to gather a bunch of stuff, I would recommend splitting it up by putting the metal in the Anki. So the Anki gets a weight reduction of 75% for metal, but it has no weight reduction for crystal. However, the RG does have weight reduction for crystal and obsidian, and it's half. The RG does get weight reduction for metal as well, but it's not as high as the Anki. So I would just leave the metal in the Anki, and then the crystal just put into the Argentavis and split it up like that, and you'll be able to carry back more, like much more. And some of these rocks are a little hard to get to, but if you're picking up your Anki, if you're like by yourself and you're picking it up, you should be able to grab some of these rocks on the cliff. If there's 2 people with you, like if it's you and a friend, the friend can ride the Yankee, and then you can just like, carry it around on an RG or like a Quetz. And that'll make picking up these things much easier and much quicker. But if you are solo, just flying around with your Yankee also works pretty well. Just keep in mind that they only break the rocks with metal in it. They don't break any other rocks on their own. That's pretty much it for the metal runs. So I'm gonna go grab more metal, and then I'll head back to the base and smelt it up. Alright, made it back. It is nighttime now. Kind of see how the lighting works in here. This is not really that good of our lighting. Have to put it somewhere else. Yeah. I'll have to figure this one out. Well, let's go ahead and get all the stuff in here. Let's see. What can we craft? We got a drop, and I did get some more toilets. So that's pretty handy. Alright, drop it in here. And we should be able to... Yeah, we're still short on metal for this. We do have enough polymer though. But this is what we want to build. We need some more electronics. Let's grab the electronics, or at least grab the... Alright, let's get the electronics crafting, and then we should be able to go ahead and craft up. Get all this polymer out here, and I'll just stick it in my inventory for now. Alright, we should have everything now. Let's go ahead and craft up the chemistry bench. Some leftover polymer. Can we craft up the cooking? Oh, we can craft this up. Let's craft this up as well. This doesn't require any polymer. The only thing that requires polymer are going to be these 2 things here, which is unfortunate. I'm going to have to use this polymer up for something else. You know what we could do? We can actually... Let's go ahead and get a ghillie suit. And we'll also go ahead and get some scuba. Alright, so we should be able to make the scuba in here. Fiber and silica pearl. Did I use my silica pearls? I did use my silica pearls. This stuff requires... Yeah, silica pearls, fiber. Let's get the fiber and the hide, I believe. Alright, so we can craft these 2 pieces. We're gonna need to get some silica pearls for these. This one... Actually, the only things that require polymer are these pieces. I want to make a couple of these scuba sets. Because we may actually need these, or we will need these for later, for the water. And what we also could do is make some ghillie. So I think, yeah, we can do ghillie. Ghillie also requires organic polymer. And we're going to need some ghillie for some taming. Alright, so we did craft a lot of stuff with that polymer. We're going to need all these things. Did I miss? 2. Oh, I need another chest piece. I think I made more gloves. I need a chest piece. Yeah, so if you have extra polymer, I just recommend going ahead and using it up. It's not going to last very long. And I don't believe this can be stored. It actually might be stored. It will store it in the fridge. So let's put it in the... No, we can't put it in the fridge. Used to be able to store this in the fridge, but you cannot now. I might make another set. Another full set. And then I'll have 3 sets. Only because if it breaks, then I don't have to deal with trying to craft it. You also could dismantle this, and you can get the polymer back from it if you wanted to. So it's definitely worth making those. There's a couple of things you can do with polymer. Like if you have extras, you can make the soap bars. And the soap bars are not too expensive to make. If you look in here in the cooking pot, you can craft soap bars. It requires 3 polymer, 2 oil, and some water. So if you have like you can get some water in here and you can continuously make these. And it converts to the soap, and then the soap you can go and grind it down and convert it back into polymer as well. That's also an option. That's like more later on, once we have enough resources. So really what I could do now is I might actually craft a couple more things, like some more legs. We're going to need multiple full sets of scuba pretty soon, so I'm going to just keep this. And yeah, I think we have enough. I'm going to craft some more chests. Alright, so let's go take a look at the chemistry bench now. It's not very big. We'll put it over here actually. And like right here is probably pretty good. It should be, yeah, it's within power range. So if we look at the chemistry bench, we can make normal things that we can make with the mortar and pestle. We also can make like narcotics. You can make stimulants. Look at stimulants. And you can also make bug repellent. Alright, so the benefits of the chemistry bench is it does require more materials to craft things, but you get more back. First is the mortar and pestle. So we can test this out by just getting, see, it requires 32 stone. So let's grab 32 stone. And it requires 16 chitin. Alright, 32 stone, 16 chitin. And then this Alright, 32 stone, 16 chitin. I'm gonna grab all this stuff out of here just so I can clear it up. Alright, so if we crafted it from here, we're crafting all these, so we're gonna have the same amount of chitin. And if we craft it in here, we'll see that the crafting is quicker, but for that amount, we get 6. Right? And then for this amount, we only get 4. So we get 50% more by crafting things inside of the chemistry bench than the mortar and pestle. So you're really going to want to do everything in the chemistry bench. And you probably could get rid of these mortar and pestles now. I might just keep them around just in case I have like small amounts of things that I want to craft. But everything you craft in here is going to be more. So you're going to get 50% more narcotics, you're going to get 50% more stimulants, 50% more everything. And this is really good for cementing paste, and also it's really good for gunpowder when you're going to need a lot more gunpowder later on. So we're going to be starting to craft everything in the chemistry bench, and this will let us get more polymer for the resources that we gather. So we can start doing that, getting more polymer. I'm gonna break this toilet. This is like an extra toilet I got from a drop. And we're going to be working towards the next thing, which hopefully we can get it done fairly soon. So the next thing we want to craft in here is going to be the industrial forge. And this is going to take a lot of metal. The crystal's not too bad. Everything we have except for the metal and the polymer. So we can go get some more penguins. We can, kill those, get the polymer. Or we can just go ahead and farm up some chitin. Which when we get to the super farm of the chitin, you're going to be able to make a ton of this stuff. And we're going to have enough, we're going to have more cementing paste than we know what to do with at that point. Because all it takes is chitin and stone. Alright, so that's going to be it for this episode. So we did do quite a bit, actually. We have our generator down. We have running water from below. So we have power, water. We have a fabricator now. We also have lighting in here. We did finish up the chemistry bench. And we did get quite a bit of resources. So that's going to be very helpful in the coming episodes because we are going to have a lot to do. And we also did tame up an Oviraptor. which will be very helpful once we get some more female egg layers in here. We're going to get a big egg production going. I'll have to get a couple more Oviraptors, but we'll see. And make a little egg bin for them. I think that's everything. I don't think I forgot anything. That's going to be it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.